Hello everyone, this is our new slime character and I want to show you the animations as well as some of the massive amount of texturing options you have here with this character. So let's just get through some of the animations real quick. We can walk forward, of course. Slime moves pretty slowly. You can always speed this up if you'd like. It's fairly quick. Um, he's got the walk animation there, and he can also walk backwards. This is a little slower than the forward walk. And he can idle, of course. He's got his idle break here where he'll look around. Let me actually go back, show that from the front. Idle break. There we go. And we have his attacks. It's a spike attack, similar to the Abyss, if you remember that movie from way back in the day. Attack 2, a little jump attack, and he jumps. Now he actually does jump forward in that, so he can land on people who are right in front of them. And attacks 3, you can do whatever particle you want. We include a little spit particle. There's also a little ball fire particle you can use if you'd like. He can get hit. One thing to notice is that the inside he's got the brain and the veins that are connected to his eyeball. And when he moves, they move independent of the rest. He also dodges real quick. And he can die. I like this die animation. It's fun. I really do like that one. And then he can also resurrect. Similar to die, it's not quite the opposite. It's similar to the opposite, but it's not quite just a reverse of it. So one thing I want to point out here is that he's transparent right now. We can make him, we have this particle that for movement. I'll turn it on now, and you'll see it right here behind him. The problem is particles are transparent and he's transparent. So you see right there where the particle jumps in front of him. Unity is not very good right now at knowing which direction to put what. So oftentimes you'll find when there's more than one transparent object, you'll find things going in the wrong direction. So if you'll notice in our project we have an opaque version and a transparent version of our character. So we bring in our opaque version. Now you won't have the issues with the transparency. So it's a trade-off. You can use this pretty neat particle if you want, but then you'll have to have the creature be opaque. So that's your trade-off. We're going to move it back now so I can show you all the texturing options. Alright, previously I've always had options right here in the demo scene, but it's really less efficient to do it that way. It's better just to show you right here. These are the options we have for the character. We're going to ignore the brain, veins, eyeball, and iris for now. They're the same options as the body, so you can figure that out. The body does have options for transparency shifting, so you can make it more or less transparent. I paused the game because my laptop doesn't like to do two things at once apparently, so we'll keep them fairly transparent. We can also adjust the hue, so we can really make them any color we want. So let's make them into a red slime. We can adjust. We can also change the lightness and saturation and contrast of this character. You'll notice that each one of these takes a little bit to start, but once it's there, it caches the data. So once it computes stuff, it'll speed up. Saturation. It's a solid color, so it's not too much of a difference with any of these, really. This is almost a saturation effect too with contrast. So I'll put that back to 0. We also have our overlay color option. That's controlled by the blend here. You can actually add any color you want to it. So if you want to make it, really bright. Alright, now we got the overlay blend off. You can also change the roughness value, making this more or less rough. That basically changes how reflective it is. You don't want to go too far to either extreme, but if you want it to be a little less shiny, then you can just bring that roughness up a little bit. We'll keep that at 0 for the default right now. It's already pretty rough, so if you go too far the other direction, you'll go really outside of the range that's expected for a roughness value. We also have our brown dirt. One thing you'll notice is that dirt does mask the transparency. Um, and if you bring the roughness value up of the dirt, you can actually make it so it's dry. And you can see that right here, he's reflective, but the dirt is not reflecting. You can, of course, change the dirt to any color you'd like. Uh, so we'll just keep that down for now. We also have what we're calling ceiling dirt, which is just like ground dirt, but from the roof. There's surface dirt as well. Again, various amounts of just grunginess to the character. What's directional blood right now? It's basically dirt from any direction. Let's change it to blue and bring that up. You can do some creative things with that just by changing the direction of this. It almost looks like a water balloon from the back behind now. So from any of the directions you can create this type of effect. These options you can play with. They don't do much for this character, but they do have an effect. So I mean, like for instance, if we bring up the wear level and notch level a lot, make sure mask metal only is down to 0, otherwise it will only look for metal, and this will only affect metal. So if we bring those up, we can change the saturation of those parts. Not really wear and tear on this creature, but you can add some more texture into him in that regard. Change the roughness value, lightness, saturation, etc. So there's some options you can do there. And then one of my favorite things is you can actually change the materials if you want as well. So I've included this metal input maps here to change this to metal. So we have our custom body, custom brain, custom veins. This is at the very bottom of the inspector for the procedural material. I'm just going to bring these into these fields here, the opacity, normal, metal rough, and ambient occlusion. One thing to note, the normal is set as a texture, not a normal map. It won't look good if it says a normal map, so that's an important thing to make sure the normal you use actually says a texture within Unity. Click this at the very top, Custom Body button, and now those textures, these ones right here, will actually be used in lieu of our default body, and we'll have a metal. There we go. So now we've got a metal slime. You notice he's no longer transparent because the metal is not transparent. And let's actually play the game now. So it's kind of like a liquid metal slime. So there's a lot you can do with this. If you have other materials from any of our other packages, there's a lot more metals we have, as well as wood and marble and stone. So a lot you can do with them, and I hope you enjoy using them. Let me know if you have any questions, and please leave a review if you get the package. Have a great day, everybody.